And there we are. It's Joe and Babe, and we're back. It was the Joe and Ophelia show last week, which was pretty cool, actually.
Right.
And you were gone doing your thing,
right.
And you're back. And then next week we're going to be gone as well.
Right, because Pride.
It's Pride weekend. We wanted to give out some love to the lovely folks over at Phoenix Pride. And if I get close enough to this thing, I can actually... tell you what the episode number. I don't think it's 111. It's probably 112. Who knows?
Actually, it
is 111.
Episode 111, the Joe and Babe show.
Okay, excellent.
Right.
We're like an episode behind Clayton or ahead of Clayton because he started with episode 63 to be fun. So he cheated a little bit, but that's okay.
That's okay.
Anyhow.
That's okay. How are you, honey?
I'm great, actually. It's been kind of a busy morning just because it's get up and go do... Yeah, this is my self-proclaimed, day of beauty.
Okay. All right.
Because I just came from my gal, who actually I hung out with last night. Thank you for accepting my dinner invite, Natalie. If you ever need a great gal, if you're here in the Phoenix area, you need a great gal to do waxing, eyebrows, anything above the waist for guys, and then pretty much anything else for girls.
Okay.
Because she has a husband.
She doesn't do manscaping?
Not below the waist, no.
Okay.
Not below
right.
But she'll do your chest and your back and all that, arms and all that stuff.
All right. Just checking.
And for girls, she does anything, anything. Waxworks out of Scottsdale, Old Town Scottsdale. I think it's waxworksaz.com.
Check them out.
They're really, it's a mother and daughter team. They've been doing it forever. I've been going to them forever. They're great.
It's been 3 weeks since we've been in the room together in the studio, doing, real show. God, you and I, because you were transitioning and doing
all
stuff.
These things.
And then,
not transitioning.
Clarify.
Because what's her name? If Michelle Hornstein would hear, she'd be like, "Oh, it's bisexual Joe."
Okay, do it.
Good God.
All right, isn't that something? Go ahead.
I had one experience that I dated a girl for a week, and that was it. And I realized that
1 whole week.
Yeah.
Okay, but you tried.
I tried, and then I thought, that's not really gonna
work.
It's not really gonna work.
Okay.
I mean, I can be sort of romantically in love with a girl,
right?
But then if it's going to come to something else, I'm like, I just can't go there.
Okay, that's all right. Everybody got their thing.
Let's go through the regular stuff that we got to do to get the show open. We're brought to you by our friends, of course, at Audible, audible.com, which is a fantastic company underneath Amazon. Thousands and thousands of audiobooks, including hundreds of titles of LGBT titles. And I think now with my new commute that's going to be going on, I'm finally going to actually, I talk about this every week. I use it and I don't. And I think I'm going to. Because I'm going to have a longer commute. It's going to be very quiet, I think.
You think?
I think.
Okay.
We'll see. Actually, there's something new I didn't even tell you about that I just discovered the other day. But we'll talk about that more later. Right. So we're brought to you by them. You can go to audibletrial.com/QTalkAmerica and get a free audiobook. Sign up for a free trial. And we thank them for their support. So, things that went on this week. You and I went to IKEA.
Yeah.
We got some things.
I know, but we ate good food.
We ate good food.
Okay.
That's right. We did that. Plugged in the car.
Yes, we did.
Charged that up.
That was so exciting because I got to ride in your new vehicle.
You get to ride in the car.
See how you
plug it in.
Plug it in.
Turn on the air conditioner. That's right. It said, "Hey, I'm done."
Right. And then you said, "Okay,
turn on the
AC so it'll be ready when we get in there." And it was cool.
Really cool.
It was really cool.
I was talking about this with Natalie last night because she was saying something I guess originally back in the day, people thought that electric cars were not very cool or they were slow or whatever. I'm like, no, they're cool now.
That was cool because you remember I told you it took me back to thinking about when I was younger, because you all know I am a seasoned individual.
And looking fabulous.
Thank you so very much. But, we were going through that and I was talking about, I remember in science class and then social studies talking about the fact of the electric car and what was going to happen. And
that's great.
That was wonderful. And then the Jetsons interspersed with Star Trek and Star Wars,
right.
And your car is just fabulous. I love it.
It is fabulous.
It is fabulous. You're loving it, huh?
I am loving it.
Okay,
just
all
like
right.
McDonald's, except not. But
okay.
let's. We had our event on Tuesday night, which was very well attended.
Yes, it was.
Of course, as would happen, the studio wide camera died that night or had a problem with itself, so we couldn't provide a wide shot. Because if we go to, let's see, actually I don't even know. Oh, there it is. If we go to this shot, you can see part of it. It's dark right now because we didn't turn the lights on, but that's the window that looks out into Studio A,
yes,
which is our lounge green room. It's done now, and we're going to, as time moves forward, we're going to do more things where we can invite some people, we'll do like a ticket thing or a lottery thing or something like that to say, hey, come on, hang out with us. I don't think it's going to work for every single show, but for the shows that are more popular and fun and all that stuff, including us, it'll be a great time. So that's why we did it. We also did it just to kind of finish the room. And
to finish the room up, but it also was a fundraiser for Aunt Rita's.
That's right.
Right. So we did that, and to actually see Clayton the show with Clayton McKee live,
which he even admitted that it was strange for him to walk over there to go make a drink and be hearing, as we had the speakers set up and everything, to be hearing his show like
in there,
on air, in there.
Okay, but we have to make note of, he did say when he went into Studio A to make a drink.
Yes.
Okay, we have to be sure that we clarify that.
Correct.
Okay? Because they do drink on that show.
Yes.
A lot.
And speaking of drinks.
Show. Yes, drinks. Okay, wait.
This is leftover champagne that's still bubbly somehow.
Okay, right.
And
cheers.
Cheers.
Okay.
I can't reach you, but
cheers
to the week that was. And
it was a great week. It really was, because your life was a little different this past week.
It was different. It finally calmed down on Wednesday, really, because I was kind of getting ready for the party, but I had been off for the week.
Right.
Go back to work. We go back to work, but it's a whole new thing.
Monday,
as I've
right?
been talking about, yeah. So it's orientation day, so it's not terribly difficult. I don't think the whole first couple weeks are going to be very difficult. So I get to go work for ASU.
Right.
It was scary, not scary. Everywhere that I've worked traditionally, like, it's a company that a couple hundred employees at the maximum, and just everyone knows you, or most people know you. And I'm sure that at the Honors College, where my actual position will be, that people will know me. Mm-hmm. But of course, ASU is thousands. Isn't it like the state's largest
university? Right.
Well, largest university, but largest. Is it the state's largest employer or public? It's got to be close to that.
I'm not quite sure of, but it's probably
it's
in the top five.
Yeah,
right.
I would think so, because it's 4 campuses, thousands of staff and professors and whatnot. So. But anyhow, I will be working in the marketing world for the Barrett Honors College, which is going to be really awesome. And actually, I got my first, my friend who had helped me to kind of navigate the waters getting that job, actually had sent me an email the other day just alerting me to an upcoming project, which was involving video editing. I'm like, oh, how cool is that? Something I really like to do.
Right.
And they're like, yeah, we need it like in the first week, and we already know like what we want to cut out of this thing. I'm like, so you've made my job like 10 minutes.
Okay,
cool.
All right. But see, that's it. That's just it. Like you said, we were talking about it in our show notes. It's starting a new life for you. This is what you have been working towards.
And it is I was telling you this on Monday. It's still surreal. I mean, I guess it's more real now that it's going to start on Monday. And that I went over there this week to like submit all the HR paperwork stuff. But it's still been a little bit surreal. I'm driving around this electric car that I've wanted for a long time.
Right.
That just happens. Throughout the entire thing, we also launched, the studio. We've launched Post PC Studios, which I don't even have a graphic for. We'll talk about more of that later. But anyhow, and I left behind a lot of headaches. In fact, what she's got it on the camera. Why don't I take a close-up shot of you?
There we
do that again. Post PC Studios. It's a lower cost vocal recording studio here in Phoenix, and it is basically this studio that we're also going to rent out with an engineer starting at $49 an hour. That starts in April.
Yes. There we go. See?
There we
go.
With that.
See? So that was my Vanna-esque kind of thing. Yes, thank you.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a little surreal going into getting sort of everything that I've wanted. Also, I think some of the thing that my headaches are going away. I used, had kept notes on the phone, for personal life, work life, all that stuff. All those work life headache notes things that probably hadn't even done. I just get to delete all those.
But
it feels good.
I'm very excited for you and happy for you because I know that this is where you have been. This has been the goal you've been working towards. And so many of the things within the past couple of years have just really come into fruition for you. So
really
congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Yep, Mama's happy for you. Okay, and I'm going to take another little sip. Okay, just one more.
You want a cookie?
No cookie.
No cookie.
Go with this. No.
I'm going to grab a napkin here.
Okay. But you know what? Something that I want to bring up because I was thinking about this morning on my way over here. Does anyone really realize next weekend, this time, is Pride?
It's Pride. We're going to be
Phoenix
outside.
Pride.
Now, I hear that, essentially, I think the whole park is going to be tented.
Okay, I hope.
Because they announced that they're actually tenting the main stage.
Right.
Now, that's enormous.
Okay. That's a big
area.
Okay, I'm just going to say that's a big-ass area. Okay.
That is a big-ass area. Okay. That's as big as those other tents that they had put up around the dance stage and the bistro kind of by the food and the food court. That's huge. What I'm wondering sort of because I always look at everything from kind of like logistics and whatnot.
Right.
That gigantic staging thing with the big roof and all that stuff, is that going to still be there underneath this giant tent?
That's what I'm wondering.
Or is it going to be, they're going to lessen that because, we don't need this roof system because we got a roof over it anyways.
I'm thinking they're going to have additional over
lighting and all that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. But we don't know, and we won't know until next weekend. But everybody should plan parades next weekend.
They're going to be setting up, a couple days, but you won't see the final result until the weekend. We're going to be in the let's throw up the title so we can talk about them. We are a sponsor, so we have to say that officially we're Phoenix Pride, the 6th and the 7th. It is, I believe, actually, because Miami Pride and Phoenix Pride kind of trade places.
Right.
Miami Beach. They only started a couple of years ago. And we were, they were the first stop. Remember this time last year, we were ready to release all that stuff about the camera tour.
Oh my God!
Can you believe that was a year ago?
Isn't that wild? And we had people from Litro here.
That's right.
At the festival
we had such
with us.
It was great time.
It was great.
Super hot, but it was a great time.
Okay, that's what I was going to say. And I'm going to say one more time because we know it, but we love Phoenix Pride and we love Phoenix. But we know that last year it was hot as a MF, okay?
And it was a great thing that they were able to push it back by 2 weeks.
True.
It does look like at this point it should be like 80 next weekend, which would be phenomenal. I think it's like 80 right now because it's a really nice weekend this weekend.
It's supposed to be... Next weekend is supposed to be about like this weekend. And for
it's 79
right now.
Right now, let me go see what AccuWeather says. Not what we are.
Well, I'm just excited that it's like the whole hippity hoppity weekend celebration.
That's right.
And it's nice and it's
came up to me. That sort of landed this whole Easter weekend thing.
Quick.
And I was, wait a minute. When was the last time that it fell in March?
Okay. Well, the thing of it is that it does occasionally end up the end of March and not April. But that's what most people think of the Easter holiday celebration.
It's true.
And for those whether or not you're celebrating the actual spiritual aspect of it, depending upon which version of the Bible you read, the New Testament or the Old or whatever, or if you think that, Jesus wasn't really the Son of God and however in the whatever, or if it's just your whole hippity-hoppity Easter bunny chocolate kind of celebration and let's go have an egg hunt, whatever it might be.
Someone said that the other day on Facebook. It was like your non-denominational rabbit holiday.
Okay, and see, that's what I'm saying is people celebrate it in so many different ways. So whatever way you celebrate, that weekend is here, and it just like hopped on us. That was good. It just sort of hopped right there on us. It hopped on us. But I'm just excited about. My wife loves the Cadbury eggs.
You know what? those are really good.
Okay, and have you had the ones now with caramel?
I don't really like. I only like caramel in certain situations, and I have to say, I think I tried one of those.
You
didn't
like that one, okay?
No.
But what about coloring
the regular
eggs?
Ones?
And coloring eggs, though. What
coloring
about that
eggs
aspect?
is fun.
Are you
I don't eat them like afterwards
kind of thing? No,
I don't
just color them.
Deviled eggs are really awesome.
Oh gosh.
But coloring is fun. It's great. I remember doing that as a kid, but I wouldn't eat them afterward. I'd be like, ugh.
Okay, so it's like.
But I mean, turn them into deviled eggs. Sure, I'll eat them.
Right, and those people that will, go to church services in the morning, and actually saying that this Easter weekend there is going to be
traffic jam,
a gospel brunch with a few of the queens, and I'm not sure who it is, so check your Facebook pages and look for events that are going on. But there's going to be a gospel Easter celebration somewhere at one of the local clubs, so check it out. Check it out. We got anybody on?
No, I was just seeing that we were not actually. We were live on video, but we weren't live on audio. So,
too bad.
No worries.
Okay,
you can always get us somehow, which is great.
Figure it out.
And we are recording, so that's always
true.
a good thing.
That's true.
Whenever you introduce new technology, you kind of throws things off. Speaking of Easter things, we'll kind of just let the conversation kind of naturally go around. We'll get back to Phoenix Pride here in a second, but our very own Kathy Young.
Yay.
I think a couple weeks ago from the agenda. That's 7:30 on 7:30 Pacific on Wednesday nights. Great show, all about LGBT news and politics. I think it was about a month ago, maybe a little less. She got the invite from the White House.
Yay!
To go to the Easter egg roll
with her family.
Yeah. Now I don't know if that means they paid for her to go or she had to, they had to pay for it, but
she was invited by the White House.
Got it.
To go. I think it was somehow underlying either with her her involvement with HRC, or it could have been through her full-time weekly job that we know what that is.
Yeah.
But also as a lesbian mother.
Right.
Okay, to be able to take her partner and their family to this event, I was just like, I jumped up and down.
And
everything.
Whether that's paid for or not, you just find a way to go.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. What I mean? And you go, girl.
And she did, because they were just Facebooking that she was on the plane. She wasn't feeling well, I guess.
Earlier in the week. That's what I was concerned about.
Hopefully took some, what is that, zinc and all those kind of things to make you feel better fast. But good for her.
I know.
That is fantastic.
And I'm also with all of the things that are going on politically right now.
DOMA, the Prop 8, the Supreme Court. To
be a member of the LGBTQ community from Phoenix, Arizona, and to be representing us. I'm just tickle pink.
I hope that she gives an interview.
Yep. I know. And says, I did say tickle pink because that's just like, oh, so gay. Tickle pink. Did you get it? Yep. Anyway.
So, really sincere congrats to Kathy. And I actually am really looking forward to listening to her show on Wednesday because
I know that'll be interesting.
Of how that whole thing was and meeting other LGBT families and families in general, because I don't know how many people attend that event, but it's obviously an invite only. It's a selective
event, right?
Can't be more than a few hundred people.
That'll be interesting because that'll probably be on the major news.
Because it's on the White House lawn.
I think they do it today.
Oh, it's not tomorrow.
It's not
today.
Tomorrow. I think it's like today. Yeah. So that'll be
on
pretty
the plane.
Cool.
That's a 5-hour flight, though. Well, whatever.
You never know.
We'll see the Facebook posts.
Congrats, Kathy Young and your family. Okay. Let's go into and talking about, politically, DOMA and the whole Work and IP bill here locally in Arizona. What's on your mind about that, Joe?
Well, there was something interesting. Facebook did a study, I guess, after this whole thing that went on Tuesday, because Tuesday morning, everyone was going crazy, the country went red. And Facebook did a quick study saying, what were the percentages? They made a map of the highest profile picture changes on that particular day. And some people, I guess they didn't rank it by, did you change it to this logo? Because there were so many versions of it. But there were certain counties, there were certain areas that were far more red than others. And I guess, Arizona has pretty large counties.
Right.
But you could see at the northern part of Arizona, it was like deep red.
It was. It was just like, what was
whoa.
I going to think? I was thinking, because we were talking
just
about your car color,
just like the car, right?
Just like candy apple red.
Yeah.
It was just like, bam.
Yeah, I was really amazed by that. So that was kind of, so they said, it was a big phenomenon. There were tons of my friends still right now who have the HRC red equality symbol on there, and they're straight. It was really was fantastic.
It was widespread. We had
really widespread
such support from our allies within the community, as well as members of the community, that it was like there was a thing on one of the links through Facebook, and I can't remember who it was, but how many different versions that there were of the red showing up. Me, myself, personally, I put up the red heart with all the equal rights symbols between there, and then there was just the equal rights symbol in red, and there was people's faces in red. It was like, bam, here we are. Everyone was expressing their opinions and their voices. And we talk about SCOTUS and where they are and what they're doing. We won't know anything else now until June or July.
Rule until which seems odd. Do they just hear it and then they think about it for 3 months?
And that was what I was thinking. But it's like, okay, at least they know that this is something that's right there in the forefront that they have to think about. People are wondering, well, how do you feel right now? Or was it a good week? Was it a bad week? How did the votes go? What do people think? I think if nothing else right now, it's so in the forefront of everyone's minds that it won't die down between now.
It's not going to die down. And the other part of it is, and I thought there were certain people even in the Republican world who would literally have said, even Rush Limbaugh, they said, you know what? We're on the wrong side. We're on the wrong fight. Gay marriage or same-sex marriage is going to become legalized whether we like it or not. It's just going to happen. So let's move on to something else, which I'm sure they will. But I think ultimately they're going to just find it's a losing battle, because I think that's what it is. And this is something I've thought about, and I talked to a few people this week, because it may be a subconscious thing for me, and I'm curious to know if you want to give us a call, anyone who is listening live at the moment or in our chat room. I'll refresh it to see if we've got people in there, which we do not, but we may have. We always have listeners who never comment and never say anything, but we know that you're out there. So please do give us some feedback, and we want to hear what your thoughts are.
Right.
As someone who's been single for most of my life, as someone who hasn't had many relationships, hoping that I'll maybe meet someone at Pride or something like that, I think subconsciously for me, there's something, the noise in the background.
I heard that.
Yeah, it's something outside. But anyhow, there is, for me subconsciously, it's always been not that a relationship that I would have is any more or less valid, but it seems like if it was actually recognized that it's okay, same-sex marriage is legal officially to the government, and you've got your little tax benefits, you got that, it sort of removes this strange subconscious issue, I think, for me, that I don't consciously think about, but I think subconsciously it's there. That if sort of it's not on the books, or if it's still illegal in some way, that somehow subconsciously you're just thinking, even though you feel in your heart that it's right, that there's a part of your own society, the rest of society, that thinks it's wrong or that it's not right according to the government. And it just kind of adds that little negative thing to it, that you're like, well, are we really going to stay together? Can we really get married? All those kind of things. And I think that changing, for me, will change a little bit of my perspective. And perhaps for others, people who are still coming out, struggling with their own identity, okay, I think it could change it quite a bit. What do you think about that?
I know
as being in a relationship for a very long time
being
already.
in a relationship for almost 23 years now. Okay.
Can we say?
Okay, there we go. Me and my girl, our family. I would love to be able to say that I am married to my wife.
Yeah.
No matter where I would go in the United States, in this world, in this whole space, in whatever, okay? I love my wife. I would love to be married to her and it recognized as that. But I am also at a point in my life is just, if you just recognize that we are the same as everyone else. Okay?
Oh, yeah. And that part is not like on my mind.
Right.
It's just that Linda Hoffman is listening, says the White House Easter egg roll is on a Monday.
Okay, thanks, Linda.
Thank you, Linda.
We love you.
Linda Hoffman, former president of Phoenix Pride.
All right.
And a fantastic person.
Right, we love her. Yes, we do. But, I'm like, it's I would love for it to be legally recognized, but I don't need anybody else to tell me that for the past 23 years, what I have is strong, full of love.
Right.
We take care of each other and our family, and that we do in the community and in the world just as every other family does. That's recognition right. Would be fine to have, but nobody else has to tell me that it's okay.
Right.
Right. It's okay with me, us, and my family. But it's just been really interesting that so much negativity is still out there right now. But yet there's a lot of people that are saying, recognize, do, see, this is a part of us. It's all about human rights and equality and not necessarily just being mean.
And it's still, going back to Harvey Milk, saying, come out. And it sort of is still, it takes one to know one.
Right.
And once you know someone who is LGBT, QRS, BLT sandwich, you just can't have those same, I guess you can, but it will change your perspective.
Right.
If you're someone who just is still negative, is still on the other side of the camp. I think people who find that they actually wind up knowing someone
who is
right. It just changes it entirely. And so that's why it's important. Still, people question pride, the pride festivals and whatnot. I think they're still going to be valid for the next couple of decades, and I think eventually they're going to become a little less relevant. But I think still, even to this day, it's important, especially in a state still like Phoenix, Arizona. Arizona is so weird. Phoenix itself is, especially in the downtown. Ooh, who's that guy on the right?
Right, exactly. Okay.
Sparkly. But anyways, we in this state, the state is in so many ways so backwards, but there are certain areas of the state that are really progressive. So it really is a mixed bag, and we really have to still have these celebrations. We still have to be out in the community. We still have to be there. And we still have to have networks like this one.
Right.
Which, again, we named the network. We built the network the way we did so that it can evolve.
Right.
And it was why we didn't just have the Joe and Babe show. We've launched all these other shows. We've had people come to us, which I didn't make a speech or anything on Tuesday night, but really the biggest gift that I've had, other than the people who are like vacuuming the universe outside and making noise.
It's in that fan. I figured it out. It's in the fan.
No, it's not. No,
it is outside.
Take your headphones off. It's the landscapers.
It's the landscapers. You're right. Okay, sorry.
Anyhow.
Anyway.
They're probably not hearing it at home. But anyhow, we have to be out there. We have to be visible. Q-Talk has to be visible. And with Q-Talk growing, the best gift that I've received over the past year or so is people in the community, lovely, coming to us saying, we want to do a show. We want to be part of Q Talk, and that's the biggest gift, the biggest compliment I could have received, because we've built something that obviously means something to enough people that it's caught on, and people think, "Wow, this is great. We want to be part of it as well." Speaking of that, real quick, because we got to go to sponsor break, we do want to welcome our newest podcast, which would have launched 6 months ago, aside from emails not being received back and forth.
Right.
The Seder Sphere out of California. So now we're back to this whole thing of like coast to coast, because from Boston to
East Coast, West Coast,
we've got podcasts from across the country now. The Seder Sphere, which is they call it Come Fly the Frisky Skies.
That's just crazy.
With Captain Scott and his Dame Flame.
I love it.
It's a crazy kind of show. You can go to their web. We've got their little blurb. They talk about all kinds of different queer topics and entertainment news and just kind of random crap. Stuff.
Okay.
But it's good, and it's they're on after Cocktails and Cream Puffs on Mondays and Fridays, and so you can check that out. Let's see. And Linda said, "Aw, thanks." And you've worked your butt off to get it too. I think referring to the network and whatnot. Yeah. So yeah, thank you, Linda. We really have.
We really have.
So again, we want to thank, because we are sponsored by Phoenix Pride. We want to remind you that we're going to be in the parade. The parade starts a little bit earlier this year. Again, I think they're making some adjustments with the weather and temperatures. Right. Parade starts at 10. We will be in it. My new car, the Cayenne red Nissan Leaf, will be in it. We're having some wonderful banners printed up that will showcase everything that we do, and we'll have a few people from Q Talk in the car. And this time we'll have air conditioning, and we're not going to be in a searing heat.
You know, it's really weird. As I was thinking about this, is this year my family and I will actually be able to
watch the parade.
Yeah, watch the parade. My wife said yesterday, like, you're not like scheduled to be in there and we can do a family thing. And I'm like, yeah, we can actually watch the parade. And I'm excited about that. But I wanted to say the grand marshals of this year's parade, which I am so excited about. Two of our wonderful straight allies that are going to be leading, and that's Howard and Pat Fleischman. And for many of you know them because they own Community Tire and Auto Service. Mm-hmm. And a lot of the community members go there, but also the longtime couple who are also going to be grand marshals are local from here in the Valley. And if I'm not mistaken, they were in D.C. this past weekend for the DOMA
I think you're
discussions.
Right.
Yeah, and they've been together for 55 years now. And that is Nada Majors and Karen Bailey. And local people who are getting their voices heard out there as well, as far as us as community members and how our lives are being impacted about these whole big things between SCOTUS and locally in Arizona and things that are affecting our lives.
And this is the weekend to celebrate it. You know, it's in terms of Pride is one big party. Used to be called Party in the Park. That was kind of the subtitle of it.
Back in the day.
Back in the day, about 10 years ago when they moved. It was actually 10 years ago this year, 2003, when Phoenix Pride moved from Margaret T. Hance Park downtown to Phoenix Steel Indian School Park.
Was that 10 years ago?
10 years ago. And that was when it was taking up the kind of this more southern portion of the park. And the following year, 2004, was the rain out. As I know, I was working with Kevin Andrews, working on some after-party stuff that also got rained out that year, and they moved to the rain date of Sunday.
Wind and the rain.
Wind and the rain. It was
when
cold.
RuPaul was here?
No, that was a couple years before.
Oh, okay.
That was 01. And then it was 05 when everyone got to see the full 2-day festival. It was the full, most amazing thing. They moved it to the northern part of the park, taking it basically the entire park at this point. And anyhow, it's been continuously growing ever since. So anyways, the 6th and 7th, we're not going to be at the festival. We were at the festival with a large presence last year. And to be honest, for certain types of organizations, I think it's better to be in the parade, get your message out there, get your visibility out there, and if you don't have the resources and the funds to deal with staffing and dressing up
stuff.
a whole booth, don't bother.
Okay.
We had a reasonable amount of email signups and whatnot, but to be honest, it was actually disappointing. It was also a bad set of events. It was the weather. It was people were burned out. They were done. They wanted to go to the shade and whatnot. So bad combination of events. We still had a great time, and it was a good experience. So this year we're going to do the parade, and the rest of us will be enjoying the festival.
Right.
As I know I will. I'm going to be meeting up with some old friends and hanging out. So that's going to be really fun. So the 6th
I'm excited too, though, and want to give props out to the fact of that. We know that Brandy,
this is her last Phoenix Pride.
Yeah, is leaving, and she's executive director of Phoenix Pride, who has done a wonderful job in her position over the past few years. We want to give her props, but also say, girl, we know that you're ready to step back.
She is
sit
ready.
down and let everybody else do your job.
That's right.
Okay.
Her partner, Tambra Williams, is going to be on Ophelia's new show on Monday.
Right.
From what I saw on a Facebook post. So,
all right, then.
Talking about, I don't know, but who knows?
Who knows?
Ophelia's new show, of course, Neighborhood Friends, 7 to 9 Pacific on Monday nights. And that they had our first good start on Monday. And I think they're only going to get better with time.
Right.
And
we love Ophelia.
She's great.
Okay.
She really is great.
And
she was
really
Phoenix. She was
her.
Miss Phoenix Gay Pride a couple of years ago.
And I appreciate her stepping in and helping you out last weekend because I wasn't here.
Absolutely. She was so concerned that there was going to be nothing to talk about.
Okay, and you all did it.
We ran out of time. We ran ourselves right out of time.
That's wonderful.
So, speaking of running out of time, we want to remind you that we are brought to you by our friends at Audible. You can get a free audiobook, 100% free. I want you to go there either right now or right after the podcast. And if you have an Audible membership, that's fine. Tell your friends about it.
Right.
audibletrial.com/QTalkAmerica will allow you to get that free trial. We get credit for it. They send us a little bit of love our way. There are over 100,000 audiobooks on Audible's system. And the great thing is when you quit, if you sign up for a month, the free trial, and you cancel it, you still keep the audiobook. It's not like they're going to go in and delete, the thing because you canceled it. They also have a couple different membership plans. If you want to continue with it, you can continue monthly. You can continue by simply buying books kind of a la carte. They're only a couple bucks each. It's a great deal. It's compatible with like every single device that exists out there. And no matter where, if you leave off on a certain point in the audiobook, it picks up right where you left off on whatever device that you have, which is very convenient. And for people like myself who are going to have a longer commute,
right,
and you have some time, if you don't have time to read, if you don't like reading, if you don't like holding up books or iPads or tablets, phones, whatever, just listen to it. And they're voiced by incredible voice actors, sometimes the authors themselves.
Right.
And there are hundreds of LGBT titles to choose from as well, if that's your thing. And if not, there's thousands and thousands of them out there. Babe's holding up Post PC Studios,
right,
but also for the soiree, which we're going to talk about here in a second. So audibletrial.com/QTalkAmerica. And now let's get on to Savor Life.
Right.
Which they always call it the month of Savor Life, but realistically it goes on until, they're going to accept donations all year round, obviously. But the main thing is that it is the soiree on Friday, April 12th at the Phoenix Art Museum. If you donate at least $35 to Savor Life through anyone, but we'd love for you to do it through us. You can actually still find our event on Facebook, and there's a link to donate right on there. You get a ticket to the soiree, and actually probably next time
you get food.
And you get food.
You get food.
You get food and you get drink.
And like drinks.
They have those whoopie pies.
And those like desserts that you just like die for, you know. But it's going to be I mean, it's simple to do it, to get involved, but if you make that $35 or more donation, and then you get to go to the event at the Art Museum, isn't it?
It is the Phoenix Art Museum.
Yeah, and so help save a life. It's like the 2013 soiree will be contemporary Latin American art that they're featuring this year.
Fantastic.
Yeah, so it'll be really good. The Diane and Bruce Hale collection, the 12th at 7:30 p.m. Doors open at 7:15 at the Phoenix Art Museum.
Get there early,
yes,
because those desserts go really fast.
They go really fast. And then let's talk though again about our post-PC studios.
That's right.
Let's tell people a little bit more about
Post-PC studios is sort of the outbirth, the next generation of what we're doing here. Q Talk America isn't going anywhere. We're simply saying that we have built this studio. The recording, because we do have systems in place. We actually went over all of this on the most recent episode of Techno Babble.
That's true.
There is a PC in the room because we have to we have to have it for our video system. But for the audio workflow, all this stuff that you see behind me, the iPads and our mixer system, and some of this is due to be upgraded and replaced soon. The audio workflow still relies on solely iOS devices from Apple.
And, you know, for those who are listening and we're saying iOS, tell them what that is, John.
iOS is the, and most people know it who have one, but iOS is the operating system that runs on Apple's little iPods and iPhones and iPads.
Thank you.
So what people call it is post-PC because they're saying, well, it's the people when they're thinking, I need a computer nowadays, they don't always think, I need to go run to Best Buy and go buy a laptop, a desktop. Some people think, I just need a tablet.
True.
And a tablet is not a PC, so to speak. So people have coined this term, the post-PC era. We have kind of taken that and simply called it post-PC studios. The studio can be used for many different purposes, all the way to the extent of singer-songwriters coming and singing with a backtrack, and we can provide that separation so that you can have your backtrack on one side and your vocals on the other side. If you're talking about Audible, if you want to become a self-published audiobook creator and you've got a book that you already published, you want to create an audiobook, come on in. We have, as you can see, we have already invested the money into studio quality mics and equipment. The room is, aside from people coming in with weed eaters, which doesn't happen normally.
True.
We'll schedule around those times. But generally, it is a soundproofed, sound-isolated room that is very, very good for vocal purposes. People like voice artists, voice actors, and other podcasters.
Right.
Podcasters who are not on Q Talk America. Maybe you're not LGBT. You don't want to be part of the network. That's fine. We would love to help you become a podcaster. Come in, use the resources that we've already done, that we've already been finished building over the years, and finding the resources that make podcasting efficient and easy to do. postpcstudios.com. That's all one word. That will forward you off to actually our Facebook page, and you can get some more information and contact information. We're going to start at $49 per hour. That includes an engineer to run things, and things do go up from there, and there's upsells and whatnot. But that is beginning in April. It is going to be by appointment only. Go to the website, go to the Facebook page, and get in touch with us. And that's what we're putting out there. So it's a way to use the studio and to continue. I guess launching a media network is a chicken and egg proposition.
True.
You put it out there, and it's not a traditional radio station. So as it builds, you then get more opportunities to market. You get opportunities to bring advertisers on and revenue coming in the door. So we thought another way of making things work and making things more wonderful for us in general would be to launch this as a studio. So we
remember to
done
take us out.
That.
Okay. I want to go back to one of our sponsors right now, and the fact of that Phoenix Pride is next weekend.
Mm-hmm.
And so the 10 Days of Pride actually have opened
already started, right?
Tonight.
Oh, tonight.
Tonight, Saturday, March 30th, there was the CARE actual 5th Annual March for Equality in Casa Grande today.
That's right. Christopher J. Hall was talking about that.
And but tonight at 7 o'clock, the Memorial Hall at Steele Indian School Park is the Phoenix Metropolitan Men's Chorus.
Fantastic.
And their Canyon Echoes Dancing Queen celebration. But going on into Wednesday night, Wednesday, April 3rd, is Gay Pride Skate.
Wednesday, that's right, okay.
Right, Gay Pride. Don't go hurt yourself again.
I am not. Actually, the last time I went, I didn't hurt myself, but it was the time before that.
Right,
so.
but don't do that before Pride.
This would be slow speed skating.
Okay,
Actually, no, I was getting up and I couldn't get up.
Oh, you fell down from getting up.
I fell off the chair.
Anyway, Wednesday night, Gay Pride Skate at 8:11 to 11 at Glendale Great Skate. So check that out.
That's always a fun time. It really is.
It really is. And then we have on Thursday night, you and I sort of debated on how we were going to talk about this. There's Echo's Reader's Choice Awards.
Yeah.
And give me your feeling on that, because I think ours are a little different, and that's going to be at 6 p.m. at Copper Blues, downtown Cityscape.
And they, all of these organizations, and we're missing In Touch now because In Touch has left us.
Right.
Echo is a wonderful publication. They've been a part of the Valley for 20 plus years. But similar to the podcast, the People's Choice Podcast Awards, I have a problem with an awards show that is nominated and voted on by the community by means of basically stuffing the ballot box.
Okay.
I have a challenge with that because it says you can vote every day. You could vote from multiple different computers and they have no idea. I have a challenge with that because it does cause certain people potentially who can win over and over and over again purely by a popularity contest. And hey, they do call it the Reader's Choice Awards. It's their event and it's the way that they want to do things.
Right.
It's the same thing that happens with the People's Choice Podcast Awards. You can do the same thing. You can game the system and the same people seem to win year after year. And personally, I think that it should be done on a more neutral basis. And if Echo wanted to up their game, and I said the same thing to Sway a year or so ago, maybe let the community nominate everyone, because you're going to get those nominations. You're going to find the top ones, of the picks, and then let the organization do the actual voting, because then it gives more legitimacy to the event. It gives more legitimacy to the organization that is actually Echo, that would be doing the voting and actually picking the ones that they feel that were the best. And maybe for that time period, you make it so that you're not going to have anyone interfering. Like people aren't going to question, if a sponsor is getting picked all the time, those kind of things. I just personally think about the Oscars, right? The Oscars are not picked by America.
Okay.
The reason why we watch that show is because we want to know who wins, and it's based off that organization. Now, some people think the organization that picks them is corrupt, but anyhow, I just personally think it gives more legitimacy instead of just stuffing the ballot box with saying, vote for us, because trust me, we've done that and haven't gone anywhere.
And we've been a recipient.
We were nominated, yes.
We were nominated.
I'm
sorry,
and it was fantastic to be nominated. But Ion, who is our other neighbor upstairs, they had given us that award last year.
Right.
They nominated. They picked it, and they said, we're giving the awards out to these people. We think they should be recognized. And personally, I thought that was better than just stuffing the ballot box with another awards show. We were picked by them, and I was like, wow, that's really cool. Personally, that's my opinion. Again, like I said, Echo is a great organization. They produce a wonderful magazine. They've been a staple here in Phoenix for 20 plus years. Nothing bad to say about them. And the award show that they put on is great entertainment, and it's great fun, and does recognize great businesses and allied businesses in our community. But personally, I think it's a popularity contest.
Right. Well, see, for me, I look on the other end of that, even as a popularity contest. If we're putting it out there, the people have been nominated to be recognized. If these are the votes of the community, okay, let's put that out there. I mean, they might not know about Q-Talk. They might not know about, and I'm coming from the places that I'm involved, they might not know about 1 in 10. They might not know about,
there isn't even a category that Q-Talk fits in.
Right. Fetish magazine, distribution. They might not know about, coming to Offshoot 2. and these are places that I am, and I'm involved. But if they're put out there by those who have heard of us, those might give, people might be able to say, well, what is this group about? And what do they do? And what have they done? And, the votes could come out that way in a positive aspect, but it could also lose on, well, I've never heard of Q Talk America. Who the heck is 1 in 10? Well, what have they got going on that I don't know about? You and I know what we do and what 1 in 10 does. But there are others out there who don't. So maybe this gives them an avenue to
It does. And people tend to live in their own little universes. Some people, how many people attend the parade, right?
Right.
Thousands of people potentially will see Q Talk in the parade. Only some of them will take action because obviously only some of them are interested.
True.
Some people don't care about talk radio, talk media, talk whatever. But you have to be out there, and so we just have a certain approach that we take, and like I said, we don't even fit into a category to be nominated at this point for Echo's Reader's Choice Awards.
Right.
So that's a challenge, and I've suggested it to them, but I think that they're in a precarious situation because I don't think that they want to have a media category because then it means they're up against other magazines such as Ion and whatnot that they don't want to actually put themselves up against. So I understand that from their sort of business perspective.
Right. So I'm going to give you that again.
Anyways.
That's Thursday, April 4th, Echo's Reader's Choice Awards. That's going to be at 6 o'clock at Copper Blues, which is down in the Phoenix Cityscape.
It's a really
area.
great venue.
Right. And then on Friday, the 5th of April, we've got at the Memorial Hall in Steel Indian Park.
Is that the pageant?
That's the pageant.
So it's actually the night before this time.
Finals.
Interesting.
And also, that's the start of 7 o'clock on that night. And Friday the 5th is the Splash Bash, which is Ion's event. And that's like noon to 9 in
and that's over at the Phoenix Place Hotel.
Right.
We were there briefly last year because we did some pass-throughs with the Lytro team and taking some pictures, and I really had wanted to go to it last year. I really want to go to it this year, but starting the new job, there's just no way.
Right.
So, but anyhow, Pride itself is going to be fantastic.
Right. Saturday, April 6th and 7th is Phoenix Pride, and starting the 10 Days of Pride starts on tonight today, actually, with the Care Equality March in
which
Casa
is going
Grande.
on right now, if not that it's over.
Right.
But they have a festival afterwards, so it's probably still going on.
But don't forget your Splash Bash is coming up. And then next Saturday, the parade kicks off at 10 a.m.
10 a.m., Thomas and 3rd Street heading northbound.
Right.
Clayton McKee and Katie June will be two of the people doing the announcements. They are, of course... I thought it was a coup that we got Katie as well last year. It's like, great? All right, we got Clayton and Katie. And I'm not selfish, and I'm not just doing this, and they came to us, obviously, but I'm like, all right, this is fantastic, because they're on our network.
Right.
They're going to actually want to talk about that kind of stuff at the parade. It just builds things, it gives something. Clayton actually was asking me, he said, when did I start the show? He had started the show 1 week before Pride last year. So It's been almost a year for him. God only knows what they're going to do for their 1 year, throw some gigantic party. Maybe they'll have Buddy back.
Okay, I want to come in.
And what's interesting, Katie is trying to get pregnant again.
Right.
And I think that's going to be
another baby in the family.
It's going to be an interesting thing for her to go through sort of the whole talk show thing during the pregnancy.
Because she sort of kind of did with Miss P, but not really the way. No. So, yeah, this is going to be interesting.
It's going to be really interesting. Yeah. So, Katie and Clayton announcing along with Mackenzie and someone else, Maya McKenzie and and Lesbian, I believe,
right,
are the other two announcers for the parade. So that's 10 a.m. As always, we're running out of time. But anyways,
right.
April 6th and 7th,
so
phoenixpride.org. Next weekend, get your tickets and lots of entertainment, including the guys from Working It Out who will be on live today at 4 o'clock, Working It Out on the main stage with Ernesto and Jean. And a few others at 2 o'clock on Sunday.
Mm-hmm. So we're closing up, getting to the end. So tell me, what's on Joe's little bit of tidbit you want to give us today?
I wanted to give more of it, but that's okay. I'm getting back into the dating scene.
Ooh.
And I'm going to just dial myself back and shorten this entirely. I really figured out, you know what, you can be attracted to someone, you can see someone from across the room, but I really figured it out that not only that obviously you have to be, you should be compatible with them ultimately, based on interest and all these other kind of things. But, I really finally figured it out that when you're looking at someone that you're interested in, or they're cute or whatever, and you think that you're going to spend a long time with them possibly, you have to be able to see yourself passionately making out with them.
Ooh.
Because to me...
Say that again.
Passionately making out with them.
Go ahead.
Because to me, the physical aspect of a relationship is just as important as the rest of it. And anyone who says otherwise, I think, is fooling themselves. And I've seen that more and more on profiles around dating sites and whatnot, that you really have to have, especially if you're going to be in a monogamous relationship for decades, if you find that you're not physically or sexually compatible with the other person, especially in the gay world, you're going to wind up going outbound. You're going to wind up going to a open relationship possibly, or one of you is going to be unhappy. Cheating.
Okay, that's all.
So that's
cheating.
That's my Joe's Corner.
Okay,
that I had the thing.
Okay.
Bit of Babe.
Bit of Babe today. All I have to say is Kerry Washington and Scandal. That's it.
Okay.
Go there. Kerry Washington and Scandal. That's it. Bit of Babe.
Bit of Babe.
That's it.
Well, babe.
Okay, good to see you, boo.
Good to see you. It's been great.
It has.
And, of course, we want to remind everyone that they can always get us around the clock on Q Talk America. You can always find the old episodes. You can subscribe on iTunes, YouTube, everywhere now. Shoot us a voicemail, 888-791-9294, or joeandbabe@qtalkamerica.com. Otherwise, we'll see you. Well, you'll be watching, but
you'll be watching us.
We'll see you in the parade next weekend. We won't be here. You'll be in a repeat episodes. Most of the series next weekend will all be on repeat because all of us will be out and about at Phoenix Pride. So check us out, and thank you for supporting Q Talk America, as we're going to soon hit our 3 years in a couple months.
That's true.
But otherwise, I'm Joe DeGanzik.
And I'm Babe Kaler.
And we will talk to you in April.
Bye.